Hello, people of YouTube who are watching this. My name is Zeon, and today I will be recording the first part of Lore Reading, a series where I read lore sessions we've had in a Discord server called Hellcry. For your convenience, I've decided to put the text I'll be reading on the screen in case you'd like to follow along. Before we begin with the reading, let's get to the character introductions of the lore session I'll be reading today. First, we have Kaison Kale Anderson. He is 14, his personality is calm, kind, and he's a little bit of a jokester. His fatal flaw is his kindness. His family is his father. He is 5 feet tall. He weighs 120 pounds. He is a half-angel. He is nicknamed the Savior. He is a priest, medic, doctor, nurse, etc. His artifact is Staff of Shino-Intai. He has no fighting style and nothing else his player would like to disclose about him. Second, we have Cyrus Crimson Dawn. He is 37. His personality is kind, respectful, but sometimes can be an asshole and will torture people who his friends or family. Fatal flaw is brutal nature. His biological family is dead, and he was adopted by a man named Alistair Dawn. He is 7 feet tall and weighs 275 pounds. His race is Shinoraboru, and Kinsetsu Yoru. His alias is Nemesis. He is an adventurer. His artifact is Kamuru. His fighting style is Ryan Ryu, and another thing his player would like to disclose about him is that he has all sorts of gadgets. Kaison Anderson would be sitting at a waterfall, pondering his own existence. The waterfall is a picture that I will be putting on the screen. Cyrus Dawn is sitting on top of a roof just watching the chaotic surroundings. He would stare at the waterfall and starts to think, I wonder how many people have drowned/been killed in that waterfall. Anger starts to build in Cyrus as he starts to get thoughts of massacring all the people who think they can harm the helpless. Cyrus, after a few moments, calms down and starts to walk over to the waterfall as he notices Kaison but doesn't pay him any attention. Kaison would turn around, still sitting. Hi, I've never seen you visit this waterfall before. Hit this waterfall before, you knew? As Cyrus walks by Kaison can just feel the presence of an entity who's not good or evil, but just someone who believes there's always going to be a sacrifice to get the right outcome, and Kaison notices this guy's kill count is in the thousands. Kaison would say, You also seem tired of it all. Cyrus looks at Kaison and stops walking and starts to speak. I'm not new, I just normally come here at night. Kaison says, Oh, you use the darkness as your ally. Cyrus would speak, It's not my ally, I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but blinding. Just then, 5 thugs appear with katanas in their hands, threatening Kaison and Cyrus. Kaison would stand, facing the thugs gently, pulling out sunglasses from his back pocket and trying to hand them to Cyrus. Be bad if you're blinded in a time like this. Cyrus would smile jokingly as he hits Kaison on the back, putting the glasses on, followed by grabbing one of the thugs by the face, lifting them in the air, and starting to crush their skull, as everyone hears the skull starting to crack, followed by the head exploding into a pile of brains, blood, and pieces of bone. Bone spikes pierce the other 3 in every fatal area, and leave one left, followed by Cyrus breaking the last thug's back Bane-style, as Kaison hears the bones breaking and screams of agony as Cyrus transforms his fist into a giant one, crushing the final thug to pieces of flesh. There, all sorted. Cyrus would hand the glasses back to Kaison. Kaison uses his robe to clean the blood off the glasses and puts them back in his pocket. Crime is really increasing in this area, Cyrus would speak. It's getting ridiculous, Kaison would speak. I can barely have a peaceful convo without being mugged. Cyrus would speak. Also, I don't think I ever introduced myself. I'm Cyrus Dawn. Kaison would speak. Kaison Anderson, nice to meet you. Cyrus would then speak. I was surprised to see Anderson's child, who's also half-angel, be near a waterfall at this time. It's nearly night. Kaison would then say, You know a lot, but you're his kid, so it's no surprise. You probably know more about me than I do. Cyrus would then say, Even if I wasn't, this divine sight comes in handy. Kaison would then say, Speaking of, why are you here anyways? Call me ignorant, but I doubt you come here for a peaceful day at the waterfall, especially since you were coming out of your comfort zone to be here in the first place. Cyrus would then speak, Well, technically I did, but didn't at the same time. I was coming to have a break, but also scout. Kaison would then say, Scout, huh? May I know what you're scouting for? Cyrus would then say, have you heard of the calamities? They basically shadow rule the world. Kaison would then speak, oh, I see. I believe I've heard of them before. Tales of a man who can cut down mountains. Cyrus would then say, I've heard they're basically planning to leave the shadows and rule with an iron fist instead of behind the scenes. Kaison would then say, so after amazing through enough power, they're finally making their presence known. Typical. Cyrus would then say, and everyone who's tried to fight them have failed because of one simple reason. Kaison would say, and what would that be? A singular reason is the point of their demise. Is interesting. Well, technically, it's a couple reasons if you look at it in a different light. But one of the main reasons is ego. They can't work together to form a balanced, versatile team that helps each other immensely. Instead, they try to be the one on top with just brute strength, Cyrus would say. Interesting, so trying to be the only hero in the story led to their downfall. Cyrus would then say, yeah, because they were facing a team of people who have different strengths than you, have a powerful, experienced living disaster as the leader. Kaison would then say, sounds like a living nightmare. Kaison would then speak, no one can beat that alone unless you're one of the people labeled as a true monster. Kaison would say, unless you're stronger than them all combined, which is what those who fought against the calamities believed they were. Cyrus would then speak, which is why I'm glad I ran into you today, and I have a question for you. Also, don't feel pressured to agree, it is up to you. I'm forming an alliance to defeat the calamities, and I was wondering if you would become the alliances here. I've also heard other people are forming an alliance as well, so maybe there's a chance to defeat the calamities, so what's your answer? Do you want time to think on it? So Kaison would say, under the reasoning, getting rid of them would allow me to live in peace. We have a deal. I don't believe you'd have to worry, though. In the event they show their true colors, I doubt your father doesn't have a means of ridding them from this world. Cyrus would then say, that would most likely cause a world war. Kaison would say, a war they'd lose. Cyrus would then say, the calamities are basically the symbol of Hellcry's strength, and also the fact Alistair's a Hellcry rogue. If he didn't interfere, they would most likely send all their warriors to Alistair's company. Kaison would then say, true. Do you think of a life of peace is possible? I ponder if exiting to another dimension is be safer. Cyrus would then say, instead of questioning its possibilities and existence, let's make it a reality. Because no matter what, I won't stand down. I'm leaving. Here's a watch to communicate with me, track me, etc. Kaison would then say, thank you. It was nice meeting you, Cyrus. How will you find me? Cyrus would then say, I can track the watch. Kaison would then say, oh, alright, would you like me to send you somewhere? Cyrus taps his watch, activating some of the controls, then does two hand signs disappearing, only leaving a temporary circle and print on the ground. Cyrus appears in a futuristic-looking building far from Hellcry and is looking at a chair as it spins around, revealing Alistair Dawn as he says, hello, son. This is the first lore session ever played in Hellcry Reborn. I apologize about any of my stuttering, but I hope you enjoyed listening to me read the first lore session of Hellcry, as well as the first episode of this series. Before we get to this credits, show this video some support if you liked it and want another episode. I'll try my best. Now, the credits. Cyrus Dawn is played by Geffen, and Kaison Anderson is played by Yeet.